y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kelssweetie, where we read books and we make art. During a certain time of year, we start Halloween decor hunting. I am back today with another how-to video, a beginner's guide to Halloween hunting, if you will. If you've not watched the first video in this series, make sure that you check that out, where I break down how I go about shopping on eBay for vintage Halloween goods and how to find really vintage anything for my Halloween decor items and even for my Christmas items. I think there's a lot of tips in there that'll be really helpful for anybody who's shopping in any sort of vintage collector space, whether it's Halloween or holiday or just plain old vintage collecting. Today we are talking about estate sales, something that I think is slept on in the Halloween collecting kind of community, or even the holiday community. I feel like estate sales people go to here and there, but we're losing recipes, because when I went estate sale shopping with my aunt this weekend, there was only older people there. Where are the young people? We can't lose the recipes, y'all. People they're getting rid of their beautiful collections. One day we will all, those of us who are collectors watching this video, will be a part of a huge, great estate sale. And I can only hope that others, youngins, are gonna come by and pick up some of my goods so that they can go on to live in wonderful homes and places. This weekend we went to 2 estate sales, and to be honest with you, at first I was thinking this wasn't good. I don't think that we found some good estate sales, because the last year during this time I went to an estate sale, I hit the jackpot. Oh, the person who was there loved vintage holiday goods, and I found great vintage Christmas and Halloween. But looking at what I ended up finding, I kind of made off. Especially when I tell you the price. Overall, yesterday, for all this goodness here, I spent $20. $20. That is why we need to get back to estate sales, y'all. Forget these thrift stores that are overpricing things. Forget the antique malls that know that Halloween decor hunters are out there now. Estate sales is where it's at, and I'm going to talk to y'all about it. So let's get into a little bit of vlogging from the day. It's mainly a bunch of B-roll. Let's check that out, and then we'll be back here for a quick little haul to show you what I ended up finding. The first house that we went to kind of was a dud. They were giving things away basically for free at that point because they were trying to clear the house, but we did go on the 3rd day of the estate sale. So this is a quick tip straight out of the gate. If you are going to go to an estate sale, try to go on the 2nd day. The 2nd day is the best day because you still have some goods and they'll have cheaper prices than they did on the 1st day. The 3rd day, you're basically picking from the bottom of the barrel, regardless of the fact that they'll probably be giving away a lot for free, essentially. If you want to have the money, go on the 1st day, of course, but I find that the 2nd day is the best day. This second house was better because they had a lot of vintage goods, because these people never threw away anything. Now, there wasn't a lot of Halloween, as you saw, tons of Christmas, but they also had a ton of vinyl and a lot of collectible things that were interesting in context. So just looking at it, it may not be the best. Like, this is all of the Halloween they had left over by the time we got there. But I did find some gems nonetheless at this one. It may not have looked like there was much out there, but as you can see, you gotta look. You gotta have vision. The first one that we went to, probably, they were trying to get everything out of that house. They said when we pulled up, all of the books and clothes are free. By the time we left, they were starting to just price almost everything at $1. It was insane, and honestly, if I would have had a pickup truck for the furniture that was there. And then the next one that we went to, honestly, was a treasure trove. They had bought that house in the 60s and never moved. And the house itself was glorious. It was one of those sleeper homes where from the outside you couldn't tell how huge it was, and then you went indoors and you're like, oh, this is big. This is a lot of home. So I found a good majority of what you see here at that house. A lot of the stuff you see here needs context. So let's get into the haul so I can give you some of that. I'm going to start off with the finds that I kind of picked up at the first place we went to. First and foremost, this Eau de Perfume. They had 2 of these. Now, I didn't need 2. I ended up just getting 1. This one actually still has all of the rose water, basically the eau de parfum in here. But what I really, really loved was for my Haunted Mansion area. As I've been doing some research on the stories of the 99 haunts at Haunted Mansion, mainly a lot of it does have to do with Constance Hatchaway, who was basically a Black Widow. She killed a lot of her husbands within moments of being married to them in order to get their fortune. And that's how she came into Gracie Manor and ended up killing the Gracie, the last one who actually owned, she was the last to actually own the Haunted Mansion. And she is the bleeding heart bride that you see in the attic when you go on the ride. I thought this would be really great. One, because I love the look of it, this very vintage labeling, the blue bottle. It fits the color scheme of the Haunted Mansion. But also, I like this idea of having these little bits that would be for a bride or for someone in that time period. And I felt like I saw this and I felt like that would fit a lot. So I did get this. Another two bottles that I got were these. They were kind of like bottle collectors. You could tell the person was. This is a Listerine bottle, pharmaceutical bottle. I can't believe that. They had two of these. I didn't need two. I only ended up getting one. I love these imprinted bottles for things that are like more vintage looking. So I ended up getting this, and this was a Vaseline. The Vaseline was in this glass bottle. I know, it's crazy, but they are like imprinted with the labels and all of that, and they look very pharmaceutical, very old age. It'll fit in. The idea is that these, here, hold on, let me show you. These just kind of sit amongst each other on this vanity type of idea around it. Again, they were scents. They were absolutely like basically free. And so I thought, okay, these look vintage. I'll pick these up to kind of feed into my Haunted Mansion stuff, because bottles like this, even on eBay, cheap, maybe $7. That's not including shipping. Antique malls, forget about it. This probably they'd be like, oh, this is 20. The next two things that I got from that, these were basically $1 each. They weren't even $1 each. I can't even do the math. It was $5 for all the stuff that I'm showing you. I got these two. They're definitely steel. I don't want to say they're cast iron or anything, but they are definitely patinaed, which I love, and they're silver candlesticks. I picked these up. I have plenty of candlesticks, but a lot of them are brass. I don't have a lot of aged, like, silver candlesticks. And that's kind of the look and the color palette for Haunted Mansion. The last thing that I found while at that first estate sale was The Matrix. And it had the holographic. I did think this was like mint condition. It really, I don't know if she really watched it that much, if at all, because it's in perfect condition. That was the last thing that I found at the first estate sale. The next thing that I'm showing you from the second estate sale we hit, this Bed Knobs and Broomsticks album. You may be going, Kelsey, that's not Halloween. Okay, first and foremost, you gotta be thinking outside the box, because I'm thinking of this in my trick-or-treat area, because last year I had two albums. I found a Monster Mash album on eBay, and these next two are going to kind of fit in that same idea. I think there was one other vinyl that I found that was really kind of Halloween specific. Broomsticks, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, it's witches. The colors here, there's magic involved. The creativity is jumping out on this one. You want to know why? Because this isn't just a vinyl. It's also an illustrated book. It's also an illustrated book. Y'all, I've never seen this. This is actually a book of the story that this is about. And look at her on her wait, the shine is happening. Look at her on her broomstick with that full moon in the back. I would love to maybe even just have it like this, presented like this. We'll see when the time comes. But the entire book is here in the vinyl. I found this classic. Now, did I find one that had the actual vinyl in it? No, I don't have the vinyl. And I looked, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know why it would be missing out of this specifically, but the covering was in mint condition. And this is one of those holy grails. So I got half of a holy grail. Because at the end of the day, would I have really played the record? I don't know. But would I have shown it off for a decor piece? Absolutely. And that's what I really needed. So I got the chilling, thrilling sounds of the haunted house Here lies a most terrific collection of recorded sounds from Disney. It's gonna look great. Do I still wish the vinyl wasn't here? Of course I do. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not disappointed that the vinyl wasn't here, but I am very happy that I found this. The next items that I found were some toy kind of items, because as you know, I'm doing trick or treat through the ages, through the years. Since I tried doing that decor the first year I was on the channel, and I hadn't hit my stride yet with decor hunting and doing the vintage look and all of that. So we're trying it again. And so think outside the box again, y'all. I found some like toy items that you would probably put in maybe a trick-or-treat bucket if you weren't doing candy. So I was thinking, again, this doesn't have the cards in it, but did I really love the packaging on it? Yes, I did. Is it trash to anybody else? Yes. Is a treasure to me and my decor? Absolutely. That's these card magic type of cards. Apparently it was originally card tricks, but this was like the 1970s. Somebody picked this up for 29 cents, these cards. And I just thought that the box would look so good, like kind of nestled into like a trick-or-treat basket. That would look so cute. And along with these vintage Crayola crayon boxes. These are fluorescent colors that glow in black light, which is really given 70s. Anything that's like black light, like why would I have access to a black light? Well, in the 70s, there was plenty of black light. So this Play-Doh, this vintage Play-Doh can. Okay, when you open it up, you may be going, that's gross in there. Actually, it's not that gross in there. I think I was prepared for it to look horrible in there. It's not. They must have taken the Play-Doh out. Whoever was selling these things must have thrown them out. Finally, as far as these little toys are concerned, but moving into more of the Halloween stuff, I got these little bats. Could they picked them up last week? Probably, maybe, who knows? But I did like the idea of having these little bags in my little trick-or-treat areas. I'm always telling y'all when it comes to Halloween time, pick up the small things. The small things for the maximalism look are important to fill in the spaces. People are always looking at the big stuff. If you have too much big stuff, there's no room to fill in those spaces. The small stuff matters. So I picked up these. There are a couple of other little doodads and thingamabobs, but I wasn't as impressed with them. I already had some of them at the house. So I left those and just picked up these bats, this wonderful little skeleton, and this bucket. Very simple, I know, but this bucket is a general foam bucket, and I'm pretty positive considering how old I think that the kids were, which was probably around the 70s, even the 80s, that they were kids that would be Halloween trick-or-treating. I'm pretty positive this bucket is from that time. I'll find out when I put my black light to it, because if you put black light to one of the 70s or 80s buckets, they'll glow. 90s, 2000 buckets don't glow. I don't know what it is. I need to do research because it's probably something hazardous in the plastic. Who knows? But they don't glow. And I'm excited because there's a possibility that I'll bring back out the black light for my trick-or-treat area come this year. I don't know. We'll see once we start decorating. But I do know that I love the look when I would turn off the lights and have my black light on. The one that I have that does glow looked amazing. The one that didn't, it fell flat. So here's to hoping that this one does glow. Speaking of glowing, he probably glowed in the dark at some point. I'm positive he doesn't now. Does he look like he possibly could have been from any dollar store? Certainly. He still looks great though. Did you see him when he was sitting here? I basically got him for $1. So I lost nothing by getting him. So I'm still happy to get that too. Again, the small things. I'm happy to get some of these smaller things. Of course, as Halloween starts showing up in the stores and I start finding bigger items, I've already found some bigger items, it's going to be nice to have these smaller things to fit in between those things, especially since my spooky town is going up there with my trick-or-treat area. I can't be thinking that big. We can't have too many big items. My last thing that I found from that last estate sale was this Cracker Jack tin container. I'm pretty positive this is one of those collector containers that, yeah, it was limited edition. That was released in it was released in 1991. I'm looking at the copyright right here. So it's still vintage, but it's not necessarily that this is like it is kind of a reproduction, but it's vintage because of when it was released, all of that. It still fits the whole I'm looking for vintage candy boxes type of space. Cracker Jacks would have been given out during trick-or-treat time, so I am still happy that I found this to put in my trick-or-treat area. And I'm really happy that it's a tall piece. I think I find, you know, tins have been the look this year. I have found plenty of tins while Halloween decor hunting, and it's been great. I think I need to reel it back on the tins after this. I say that, but if I find something that's amazing and it's the right price, it will get picked up. That is everything that I found today at the estate sales. Like I said at the beginning of this video and throughout, look at your estate sales, y'all. Check out that link below at estatesales.net. They have wherever you are, you can find estate sales at any time. You can download their app and find it. It is really helpful as opposed to searching in the newspaper like people used to for estate sales or driving around looking for estate sales. I think the thing is, you know, I used to go estate sale shopping and yard sale shopping with my granny, and luckily my aunt is very much into that as well. So I was kind of brought up to go to things like this. But I know as we get further and further into the digital age, it's hard to find out where and when these things like that are happening, or if people are even having them anymore. And while we were estate sale shopping, using the app so we had a place to go, we were driving around on a Saturday, and we were running across all these signs for yard sales as well. We could have been out all day. We started getting tired. Or else we would have continued going to some of the yard sales. And that's kind of the biggest tip that I have for you. Try and figure out 1 or 2 places that you want to go for an estate sale. Go on a Saturday early. Drive around. And as you're driving to that estate sale, I can promise you, you will probably come across some yard sale signs. And that's how you find the good stuff. Is searching at these places where somebody is having a moving out sale, or somebody's passed, or they're going somewhere and they can't bring it all with them, or whatever the case is, and they're gonna have all that stuff in there and they're trying to get rid of it. It's either sell it to y'all and make a little bit of chunk of change, or throw it away, or donate it. Donating it seems like a big waste of time for some people, and for throwing it away seems wasteful, as well as a big waste of time, because I still have to drop that off somewhere, because it's not all, if I'm getting rid of a whole house of things, where am I going to throw that away at? You have to hit up estate sales, garage sales. These are the places where good actual vintage is, and you can get a really good price for it. So I hope today's video was helpful. I hope that this series is becoming helpful. I know that it's something different, and I just haven't seen anything like how to Halloween decor hunt on Instagram as well, but on YouTube. And I know that I was guessing a lot at this whole hobby when I first got started, and I hope that it's helpful for some of y'all who are just starting, or even for some of y'all who have been Halloween decor hunting for some time but didn't know about any of these tips or how to get into things like estate sale shopping. So I will see y'all in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you are into any more vintage Halloween decor hauls or tips or anything like that, make sure that you're following me. Halloween hunt has begun in some ways, but as I've said in a recent video, we've got Halloween at home, at other people's home. So go check them out. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks again for watching, y'all. Bye.